guys, my name is Nazibele Kamanamayaba and welcome to my YouTube channel. So as promised, this is the second of 4 videos that we are sharing as a countdown to our first wedding anniversary. So today's topic is how I disclosed to my husband, Usku, who was then my boyfriend, that I was HIV positive. So a lot of people have been complaining from the first video that I don't give you an opportunity to speak. I always cut you off. So you know what, I'm going to keep quiet and just ask a couple of questions, and I'm gonna let you narrate the story, okay, where it started. So over to you.
All right, so it was on Monday, and I remember very well because the following day she was gonna go to Durban to attend a graduation. So on this day I received an email. So usually she would call me Uchawe, but today said, "Hello Skumuza, I'd like us to meet, and possibly in a private space." This person, she's never been to my place, and so I had to really think deeply as to how my place looked like, whether it's clean or not. But nonetheless, I said, okay, it's fine, we can meet. So before we met that afternoon, so there were a lot of things on my mind, and one thing that I was worried about was I was hoping that she wouldn't say she was raped, because I knew very well that I wouldn't have a capacity to deal with a person like that. Now that talks to the ability to know your strengths and what you can stand as a person. Many a times as men, we put ourselves in difficult positions, thinking that we would stand something. But I knew myself that I was weak in that area, and had she said, well, Skumuza was raped, I would have said, for me, not for now, because I knew emotionally I wasn't that strong. So all of those things were in my mind, and eventually, so I gave her the address where I stay. So I tried to be there on time. When she arrived, unfortunately, so I had just been there for 2 minutes, so I didn't have time to clean up. So you know how men are. You find gym clothes there, dishes were never washed for many days.
Yes.
And you know, it's dirty. So I had to clean up, but yeah, you know, ladies and bathrooms. She got inside, and then she checked, and she realized that my bathroom was a mess. Oh Lord. Okay. She went in and she embarrassed me, by the way. I felt so embarrassed because she started cleaning, but so what is this meeting all about? But eventually we sat down. So she then looked down, and then she said, "I'm not gonna be long. Skumbuzo, I am HIV positive." After she told me, well, there was silence a bit, but I remember looking at her in the face, and at the time I thought maybe she's gonna cry or not. So question is, how did I feel when she told me? So was I shocked? Was I scared? I was looking at Unozi at the time. The person that I met and the person that she introduced me to was Unozibele. The disease to me was something else. Now these are two things. It's a human being and a disease. Because of the build up to that and the conversations that we've had, it was easier for me to then say, so what? Now the question is why? At home, we were 7. It's 5 boys and 2 girls. So 3 now late, So, and by the way, let me also touch up on this Goodman thing. So the first one is Maxwell. Now the boys, I'm going to count the boys. Is Maxwell. Second one is Lawrence. The third one is Harrison. And then it's me, Goodman, and my younger brother who's Niceman. And Mchanam, it's Darlington.
What's up with his name? I can't.
All right, so
I need to ask Ma what's up with these names, like honestly.
So at the time, I looked at how my mom looked after my sister who was very sick. So at the time we didn't know, and in fact we still don't know even now. But when we think about it, we actually suspect that she was sick and she perhaps might have had HIV and AIDS. And at the time it was difficult because there were no ARVs to support that. So that experience and the exposure to that, then, well, it helped me in a way to be stronger and be able to stand whatever may come my way. There's one thing that I would like to say, though, is that there are many people who have chronic illnesses, and HIV is one of those. But it's just the stigma that is attached to it that seem like into manyala or into engamkelekiyo.
Yeah.
So, and I am grateful for, at the time, the friends that I had and people that I used to talk to about Obisa and my family as a whole, because we would talk about all of these things, and these things would actually equip us. So it's important that at the same time you are exposed to people that are not going to say to everything, but people that are going to say, you know. And so when she told me, really it was, I can't explain this in much more detail. It was not a train smash at all. Like I said earlier on, my worry was if she was raped, because I knew very well I wouldn't stand.
And I remember you told me about the rape story. Why you say that is because a neighbor of yours.
Oh yeah, and I hope that they're not going to listen to the
whole.
Oh well, I'm not gonna mention.
Yeah.
So our neighbor Elusikisiki was raped by a group of boys. Pretty lady, beautiful. I mean, very intelligent and talented. And I looked and I watched how that affected her emotionally and mentally. But she soldiered on despite all of that. Number one, I mean, the stigma, because people would talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down low. And I used to say, Lord, the strength that she has. You've only perhaps identified her as a person who would be able to carry this. And so looking at her like inhliziyo being a vegan nandi, but at the same time I knew that if either I'm a father or brother or to her, personally I wouldn't, because of the emotions
that you saw,
that I saw.
And like one of the things that I am continuing to ask as well is, like, when I told you what did I see, what was your reaction? When I was telling him, I was like, I had already made up my mind that I'm telling him, and after that I'm not gonna see him again. And then, so I remember when I was telling you, when you say Bana, it was not a train smash, I kid you not, and I know it's gonna sound like Indo, like out of a movie, like you did not flinch. I always say this, like, guys, there was not even a matter of yo, wotukile. Also was like, I remember that and it was this couches actually. I was sitting in one couch and then he was sitting on the other couch, and I was observing
and
even.
you were wearing that pink dress.
What is
so the shorter one, and the heels as brown, isn't it?
Don't lie.
Isn't it? Where's the motor? Ask I mean, there's a stamp.
Hey!
I am a motor here.
Anyway, So he was sitting across me as I was telling him the story, and guys, he did not flinch at all. He let me finish what I was saying, and that was it. And I remember.
But I think what really helped is the manner in which you told me the story, because you said it with great humility and respect, and you said, I am HIV positive, and so I then asked as to how long you've known about this. So at the back of my mind, there was something that said, here is the person who has been living with this virus for a long time. She has lived. You can't see anything. There's nothing written HIV kunus. So by the grace of God, I must say that I behaved in the manner in which I did. So it's a combination of a lot of things. One, what I was exposed to. Number two, the circle of people that I had. Number three, which is most important, is how you told me the story, and the build up towards there. So like I say, I was introduced to unknows, not the container that I see, not the virus or anything of that matter. So it did not change how I felt about you and the fact that I loved you and I wanted to be with you.
You can make such an emotional moment. You had to make such an emotional moment. I was like, my tears were right there, and then you just had to what's wrong with
you? Okay. Yeah, and I know,
I can't. The one thing though that people often ask is how do we deal with? And I know also. I mean, we were speaking to one gentleman. I remember for like an hour, where I think they were facing something similar. Where I think the lady was HIV positive, and he was not sure how to navigate, and also the fact that bazothini abantu. With us, I don't know, it's how a person is built. That I don't think we've taken the time to think about bazothini abantu. We've always been centered around, are you okay? And namtizabuza bana, are you okay? And even me coming out with my story, I always remember this one thing. When I was scared, obviously, but okay, what about my family? And what if this backfires and all of that? The one thing that you have kept on saying to me is, remember why you want to do it. If you constantly remember why you want to do it, the intention of it, whatever happens, okay, whatever comes your way, wouldn't go over the intention of you coming out with the story. So yeah.
So precisely. So there's a friend of mine, Umzi Baleng. Whenever you tell him something that involves other people, so you would say, so what? When now, how do you feel? This thing, Skumuza, should never be about somebody else. It must be about you. So long lo uzingelayo uzingela yena ngokwakhe kuba engazinto, and he doesn't even go to church. He normally says that without vision people perish. You must have ingqondo oyazibiza ukuthatha up and think further than where you are right now. So I think, like I say, the circle of people that I had and I still have, they were able to prepare me very well.
Yeah. Has a discussion of being HIV positive ever been a center of an argument or anything like that? And I like never, not even once, where we've argued about something, and we argue like all the time, by the way. When we argue about something where I can't tell this guy. But it has never been a center of conversation ever. the fact that, oh, by the way, Sissy, you are HIV positive, or even from my case, and we're like, why are you doing the reason why you're doing this is because I'm HIV positive. No. And I think it's because of the foundation that we have set from the beginning. But as you said, it is not something that is a hindering factor or anything like that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And I know, with men, probably there's one thing that comes to mind when they are faced with situations like that. Is sex. Because we talk about sex.
Do you want to talk about sex?
Eh?
Do you want to talk about sex?
Okay, andizuthetha ngayo uba nizofumana noba namhlanje.
Oh my god. Guys,
okay,
just talk about it, because obviously you remember when we went to where was this place? HOD. So we did a talk recently at a church, and someone was asking about, how do we keep it spicy, because excuse me, things get heated in the bedroom. We have a very nice bedroom life. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and ingelosi pha phezulu ziqhwaba izandla you got about ziyaqhwaba zithi hayi kwedina hayi yabona kwedina
I told you that.
Okay.
I told him that I went to this one conference, a women's conference, and they were saying, sex is an expression of love and everything like
it's
that.
Like us. They were saying it's like between me and you.
No, you need to chill.
Okay.
And then that's the way people say, or like when you are having sex, the angel, because sex comes from God, the angels above must clap hands every time. So one last advice, I get asked this all the time. If I'm HIV positive and I want to start a relationship, like what advice would you give me? I think what has worked between Sku and I is the fact that when I went up to him, although I know Tibana, I had 100% healed, but I was at a better place than where I was previously.
Precisely.
And I thank God so much for that, because I did tell you this, that I was diagnosed in August of 2013. So April of 2016, and me disclosing to him May of 2016, I was already at a place where I was coming to terms in terms of what has happened, and I really worked on myself. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if I had met you earlier, 2014, 2015, I don't think we'll be here at this many time, because I would have redirected all the anger and everything that I had gone through towards you.
Look, and I must say this, there are still challenges emotionally, but it's all about knowing yourself as a person. So if a man or a female see this person and she is HIV positive, it's about firstly knowing yourself, know your abilities as a person. What is it that you are able to stand or not? It's important that you don't put yourself in a situation or environment where you are not strong physically, emotionally, and importantly, your relationship between yourself and Law Opezu, or whatever you believe in, because we must tell the truth that not everyone is a Christian. So the minute you don't have somebody who you fear the most, and whom from time to time we are kusini you kind of in a disadvantage, because what you believe in is what is able to carry you in the things that you do not see, in the things that are not tangible. So I think I was better off, because firstly I knew where I was and what is it that I could stand as a person. So often and many times as men, we see these people who say, okay, let's go for it, without evaluating yourself and understanding what is it that you will be bringing, because it's important that your emotional bank is full. You must make sure that you continue making sure that that emotional bank, that reservoir, is always full, because you will then be able to stand whatever challenges that come your way. So if it's empty, baba,
Yeah,
ukumi
it's a bad
divorce
match.
immediately.
Yeah, it's a bad match.
So that bank, number one, so who are you? What is it that you are able to stand? Number two is your relationship with God. Maybe number one, your relationship with God. Where do you stand? Are you able from time to time, ufike uthethe inyaniso uthi yey dimoshile apha, and I would like to come back again. And so it's important that you always fill it in with something that will keep you or sustain you for a longer period.
Thank you. Okay, guys, let me just say before we end though. I don't know. And the reason why we're doing this video is because we know, as much as we would like such conversations to be normal, unfortunately they're not. Circumstances in general are not normal because of the stigma attached to the situation. So I really want to commend you, and I guess also attributing to what you said of being raised to know better, to be exposed into different things, and to be the kind of person that you are. There are many things that I admire about you a lot. There are many things that I admire. Don't do that. There are many things that I admire about him a lot, but really, thank you for making me feel so comfortable with my story and not shying away from it, and allowing God to also use you in that vehicle as well as we're moving forward. So yeah, I really want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, Chipola. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. We'll check each other out again in the third video. No, in the third video, where we are going to do a couples quiz. So if there's any question that you would like to ask us, please let us know. You can inbox me on social media. On Facebook, it's Nozimele Mayaba. On Instagram and on Twitter, it's @NoziPamgana. So until next time, cheerio.